Now, we're about 30 minutes away from President Trump's news conference on the capture of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. Now, lawmakers are weighing in this morning on U.S. military operations in Venezuela. Reactions obviously split along party lines. Chief Congressional Correspondent Chad Pergram joins us by phone with the latest. Chad, when you woke up to this news overnight, did you expect that this is the kind of reaction we would be getting from Democrats, which appears right now to be that this was an illegal move by the president, and they've been lambasting it?
Yeah, that's pretty typical in questions about notifications and authorization for war and use of military force overseas. Tom Cotton, who's the chairman of the Intelligence Committee, he was on our air about an hour ago, and he says that Congress doesn't need to be notified when the executive branch is executing arrests on people who were indicted. But when you go to some of the Democrats, they are pretty upset about this. Diana DeGette, who is a Democrat from Colorado, called this rogue activity from this administration, said that Republicans have abdicated their responsibility. Jeanne Shaheen, the Democrat from New Hampshire, she's the top Democrat on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, and she said that in these briefings that they had about the military activity in the Caribbean, this was just before Christmas, that the administration repeatedly denied any intention of conducting regime change. And she says we have no, understanding of what comes next. And her word here, she says they misled the Congress. Now, from some more on the left, far to the left of Jeanne Shaheen, you have Greg Casar. He's the chairman of the Progressive Caucus, and he says, I thought we were told no new wars, and Congress should vote immediately on a war powers resolution to stop him. And Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the Democrat from New York City, she says that this is about oil and regime change. Now, as you say, Republicans have mostly been supportive here. We've had a statement here from Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, that has alluded to that. And John Thune, the Senate Majority Leader, he called this decisive action, and he looks forward to further briefings. I think that's the one thing that a lot of members of Congress are going to want to see and hear in the coming days about what comes next. How do you get from, this point, what the military action was tonight, what's the future plan for military troops on the ground, and will there be action by Congress? There's this resolution by Tim Kaine, the Democrat from Virginia, and he has said, we need to vote on this. This was something that they had voted on this. He says, where does this go next? He said it's long past time for Congress to reassert its constitutional role in matters of war and peace, and says that legislation is ready for a vote in the new year. So Congress comes back this week. There's going to be pro forma sessions, which is where they just gavel in and gavel out, ironically, here in the next hour or two in both the House and Senate today. And then they will get back into the swing of things next week. The Senate comes back Monday, the House on Tuesday, and this will be front and center in the Congress in the new year, Brian.
Chad, you are our resident historian, and I got to ask you, just if you can help us, give us the context as to whether or not this action, not informing Congress, and there not being a vote in this particular action that we saw overnight by the president. The administration says this was not regime change. This was going after narco-terrorists. How atypical, how extraordinary is this move by the president?
Well, the historic parallel would be what happened in Panama in 1989. It was just before Christmas, 1989, and the U.S. had indicted the leader of Panama, Manuel Noriega, and had tried to rout him out for a while. And in the middle of the night, this was very similar. I remember I was working in local news in Cincinnati, and I was doing the morning shift because it was Christmas week, and I called in and I said, "Are we at war?" Because I heard all these news reports on my radio as I was getting in. There were no cell phones in those days, and that's always the tension that exists in the Constitution as to whether or not you need to have a declaration of war or an authorization for the use of military force, but it's very similar. Manuel Noriega had been indicted in the United States, and he was arrested. Eventually, they kind of had to rout him out. They surrounded the Vatican embassy, which is where he fled, and played rock music, Twisted Sister and AC/DC, and you name it, just blasting the music for days. And eventually the Vatican said, enough, you got to leave. And so they took him to Miami, where he stood trial. This is very similar, where you're going to have Maduro go to New York City, and he's going to stand trial. The trial be occurring in the Southern District of New York and in New York City very soon. So there's a lot of parallels there. But when you come to this war powers question, this is always a question of debate. You've used military action overseas. You have taken out a foreign leader. Yes, to Senator Cotton's point, this is somebody who's been indicted, and his argument is that you don't have to notify Congress on this. But going back to what Senator Shaheen had said in these briefings before the House and Senate just before the Christmas recess, they were not very pleased on the Democratic side of the aisle whether or not they even had the authorization to be doing what they're doing in the Caribbean. And there are some Republicans, like Rand Paul from Kentucky, who agree with some of the more liberal Democrats on this, saying, we just can't go around, blowing up ships and intercepting people. And this will only add fuel to that fire from that side of the argument. Fox
News senior congressional correspondent Chad Pergham. Chad, thank you as always for your insight this morning.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Compagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.